let's be real for a second. Have you ever wondered where your money actually goes? Today, we're going to walk through a simple 30-day guide that promises to answer that exact question and bring a little, or maybe a lot, of clarity to your finances. Okay, you know that feeling, right? Payday comes, you feel flush, you feel secure. And then it seems like in the blink of an eye, you're staring at your bank balance wondering, where did it all go? It's this super frustrating cycle. But what if the answer is way simpler than you think? Well, it turns out the key to breaking that cycle might just be one simple but really powerful experiment. Just 30 days of paying attention. The person who tried this found it completely transformed their entire relationship with money. So let's talk about this mystery. Before the experiment, it was just this constant state of confusion. It wasn't one big flashy purchase that was draining the account. No, it was more like a slow leak, a steady, almost invisible drain that left things empty with no obvious culprit in sight. And this is the big aha moment. The issue wasn't about not making enough money. The real problem was a complete lack of awareness. I mean, without tracking where your money is going, there's no plan, there's no budget. You're just kind of spending and hoping for the best. So how do you solve a mystery like this? Well, you've got to follow the clues. And in this case, all the clues are right there in your spending. You just have to follow the money trail. And it all starts with a simple 30-day challenge that, honestly, anyone can do. The rule couldn't be simpler. For 1 month, you write down every single thing. And I mean everything. Not just the rent or the big bills. We're talking about every cup of coffee, every snack, every tiny little purchase. Nothing is too small to go on the list. And you know what? You don't need some complicated fancy software for this. The tools are as simple as it gets. A basic notebook, or even a free app on your phone. All you do is sort your spending into a few basic categories like food, transport, and so on. It's this simple act of organizing that starts to show you the hidden patterns. All right, so this is where things get really, really interesting. Because once you start tracking, it doesn't take long at all for the data to start telling a story. And trust me, it can be a pretty surprising one. I mean, check this out. This is a direct quote from the person who did this experiment. Just 7 days, 1 week of tracking was enough to lead to a shocking realization about where the money was really going. And here it is, the final breakdown. At the end of the month, a whopping 35%, more than a third of all income, was going towards non-essentials. Not the stuff you need to live, but wants and small daily treats. Okay, to really let that sink in, think about this. The total amount spent on small wants each week, things like coffee and snacks, was almost the same as a major essential, like the entire monthly electricity bill. That's a pretty wild comparison, isn't it? And look at how this happens. Let's say you've got a daily snack habit. Maybe it's around 300 rupees. Doesn't sound like a big deal, right? Well, you do that every day for a month, and suddenly that small habit has ballooned into 9,000 rupees. It adds up so much faster than we think. And all of this leads to a really simple but powerful idea that can totally change the game for you. It's all about understanding the difference between your needs and your wants. The definition is so straightforward, but it's everything. Needs are the absolute must-haves for survival: food, shelter, utilities. Wants? Well, that's everything else. It's simple, right? Needs are what keep you alive, but those wants, if you don't keep an eye on them, they're what'll keep you broke. Just look at this table. It lays it all out crystal clear. On the left, you've got your non-negotiables, the true needs. And on the right, you see the wants. And it's those things on the right, like food delivery or that extra streaming subscription, that are so good at disguising themselves as needs. Seeing them laid out like this is how you start to take back control. Okay, so you have this amazing new awareness. Now what? How do you actually turn this into a system that works for you day in and day out? Well, you create a few simple new rules for your spending. It's like having a little filter in your brain. Before you buy anything that isn't a total necessity, just ask yourself these 3 quick questions. This isn't about telling yourself no all the time. It's just about taking a pause to make a conscious choice instead of an impulsive one. If the answer to any of these is no, it's probably a good sign to just walk away. Now, if you want a really solid framework to aim for, check out the 50-30-20 rule. The idea is to have about 50% of your income go to your needs, 30% to your wants, and a really important 20% to savings. This isn't about being rigid. It's about giving every single rupee a specific job.
So what's the end game here? What does all this work get you? It's a complete shift, really. It's about finally moving away from that constant, low-level financial anxiety and stepping into a real feeling of control, of freedom.
And I absolutely love this idea here. Think about it. A budget isn't a cage. It's not about restriction. It's a map. It gives your money direction so you can make sure it's heading towards the things you actually care about. So really, the biggest lesson here isn't about hustling to earn more money. The real game changer is finally understanding. Because once you can actually see and measure where your money is going, you can finally control it. And that's when you can start building the future you really want. So, I want to leave you with this one simple question to carry with you. The next time you're about to buy something, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is this a need or is this a want? Seriously, how you answer that tiny question might just change everything.